Welcome to episode 110, Stephen Schwarzman, 9 Lessons. This is an outline of episode 110. Lesson number 1, start a business as a worthy fantasy, not as me too.
And your business was to advise companies or to make principal investment?
If you want to have a successful business, I think what I call it, you need a worthy fantasy. In other words, you're not supposed to be doing what somebody else is doing. They're already doing it. The world doesn't need you. You think they need you. They don't need you, right? You've got to do something different, not just a Me Too thing. So we struggled for, sort of probably 4 or 5 months. Every day we'd sit around. It's very hard work. It's like being in Hollywood or something, coming up with a script. And we basically said, okay, we want to do 3 things. First, we want to go in the M&A business because we know it. Secondly, we want to be in the private equity business. It's now called private equity. It used to be called LBOs. And then third, finance was evolving. Little companies like Lehman Brothers.
Lesson number 2, 500 rejections to start a business.
A letter that we sent out to everybody saying, hi, it's us. Here's our wonderful plan. You should really do business with us. So this was really a fantastic strategy. And after we sent out the letters, nothing happened. I think if you like pain and suffering, it was really terrific. Neither of whom had ever made an investment announced that they wanted to raise the 3rd biggest private equity firm in history and massively larger than any other first-time fund. So only 2 demented people would actually think they'd get a good reception. And I encourage you to do that sometimes, because if you ever had an ego, it's like, the sandpaper. You have nothing left by the end. And you make every elementary mistake you can make, which is you start with your closest relationships first.
Lesson number 3, how to kill off the other bidders. I want war, not just skirmishes.
When I was doing some research, I came across a few quotations, and my favorite one is one I'm about to read. And it's describing your view of the financial markets, and you say, I want war, not a series of skirmishes. I always think about what will kill off the other bidder. So I'm wondering, how do you kill off the other bidder?
Well, that was the most unfortunate quote.
I think it's great.
And it's been cited before. And what that was is you can just tactically, if you go to an auction to buy paintings, sometimes there are bids that go up by, almost nothing. So somebody bids $10,000 and somebody says 10-1 or 10-2 or 10-3. And, what I was referring to there is if you say 15,000, that usually shuts the thing down.
Lesson number 4, hire 10 out of 10 people.
Someone to run that business who was a 10 on a scale of 10. 9 is not good enough, and 8s, which, most people think 8s are good. 8s are just serviceable in our industry. And 10s, they just make things happen. If the world's bad, they find a way to make money. If the world is good, they make a fortune. They're charismatic, they hire people, they got great taste, they got high ethics. So you need a 10.
Lesson number 5, no franchise. Everyone meets every Monday.
We also centrally manage the business so that there are no franchise departments at Blackstone. We meet in our groups every Monday. In private equity, for example, at 8:30. Everyone around the world in the private equity business is in effect in one room through the use of video technology.
Lesson number 6, growth is important.
Most financial services organizations have a natural limit on what you can do as a function of somebody being in that seat in front of you. And what we've been able to do, because we've grown over the years somewhere, depending on the year, 27% a year to 29% compounded, is that we're always starting new parts of our business, which gives younger people a chance to be promoted and grow a new business for us. And that sense of being in charge of things.
Lesson number 7. Opportunity is buy when others are scared.
In Europe, which looks like it's got a very difficult macroeconomic climate, we're finding a lot of opportunities to buy real estate there. And sometimes you don't have to have much growth to have very successful investments. Particularly if other people are scared to buy things, then prices are reasonable.
Lesson number 8. How to build intellectual capital.
If you assemble people who are 10s on a scale of 10, they can build some of the greatest businesses in the world. We go over every transaction we're looking at everywhere in the world. So all of our people, from a first-year person to the most senior partner, can understand what the relative value is in terms of putting money in Europe versus the States, and why does something look good now? Just because it looks good now doesn't mean in 6 months or a year it's going to be just as good, or maybe a place you wouldn't want to put new money. And that openness, that horizontal nature and inclusiveness of our people enables us to have learning moments for everybody, teach risk controls to everybody in the firm, and uniquely manufacture intellectual capital from each of our businesses where we have similar kinds of meetings, and sharing that.
Lesson number 9. Build loyalty. Investor by investor.
We now are the largest in our field, but it was built investor by investor. And so the loyalty that you feel, that our loyalty to those people is just, sky high. They in effect created us in our investing businesses. And so our commitment to them is to do the best job you can conceivably could do, protect their capital, give them terrific returns.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and leave your comments and questions below. Wishing everyone peace and prosperity.